Hello everyone, very good morning. I hope the live has started. Let's just wait for a few seconds, and if someone is there online, you can just put a message in the comment box saying that my audio and video is clear so that we can go ahead with the presentation or the session. Is my audio clear? Video clear? Okay. So, a very good morning to everyone once again, and thank you so much for being present here in this session. Before I get into the session, I will have to say I am very much connected to Velammal Institute, where I am also a product of Velammal. So it's a wonderful and a pride moment for me. I am here for the Velammal Nexus this time. Last year, if I could recall, I was there in Velammal Vidyashram as chief guest for Sports Day. Some of you might have attended that, and it was a wonderful session. And again, I am here in Velammal Nexus, this time through a virtual platform. It's really an amazing time and experience for me to be a part of Velammal once again after so many years. So, first of all, I would like to introduce a little bit about myself. I did my engineering, computer science, in Velammal Engineering at Surapet. So, of course, it's such a great experience for me to be there and share a lot of memories with the college and the Velammal institution overall. So, basically, this session is all about how sports and fitness can influence a student, be it a boy or a girl, someone who is enthusiastic towards fitness and sports, how they can benefit out of sports and fitness, and how they can actually improvise on their own career and a lot more. So first of all, before I start, I would like to thank the institution, Velammal Institution, for Velammal Nexus especially, for having me here in this session, and I'm going to share some of my views and ideologies on how one can improve on the overall health amidst the corona period. You might all have become aware of how you have to build up your immune system, how to keep yourself healthy. And this session is not just limited to the students of Velammal. I was told that students of 9th standard till 12th standard will be the participants, but I would also say that if at all the parents are watching, I'm sure it is going to be beneficial for everybody who is watching this session. So before getting into in details of what I want to deliver, let me introduce a little bit of myself. I am Vignesh Hariharan. As you might be knowing, I am the South India's first kettlebell lifting world champion. Back in 2018, I won the Asian Championship, which took part in Indonesia, and in 2019 November, before the coronavirus, I got crowned in Australia as the world champion in the kettlebell lifting sport. So you might all be wondering what is kettlebell, and some of you might have not even heard of what a kettlebell is. So kettlebell is another weightlifting modality or a tool. It's heavy as it looks, and a lot of people lift it, and whoever lifts the more number of repetition within a stipulated time will be crowned the winner. So that's how it is. And of course the body weight will also matters. So if you want to see an image of how a kettlebell will look, this is how it is. So you might see this spear is this is a spear, and it has variable weights, and there will be a handle. You might also Google about what is kettlebell and how the shape looks. Or if you want to have more details on it, you can look into my YouTube channel. Vignesh Hariharan is my YouTube channel name. You might see a lot of information about what is kettlebell and what are the sports and how to develop on that sport and what I have accomplished, and all those things are available on the channel. So getting into a little bit of detail about myself, I was right from my childhood, I was more into sports. My father was so enthusiastic and he nurtured me towards improvising on my physical abilities. Not just that I want to become a sportsman, but he believed that a sound body has a sound mind. Anybody who is strong and fit can achieve anything in this world, be it your mental ability, your physical ability, or if you want to help someone, you build up an attitude of a sportsman. An attitude of a sportsman is not just playing the sport, it is more than that, where he actually draws energy from the universe and he gives his best, he or she. Whatever I say, it is neutral for all the genders, for both the genders. So someone who is packed with energy, if you could see them, they will have a certain characteristics of a sportsman quite similar to the normal person. So a sportsman will always have that energy, and he or she will create an atmosphere or an aura around him or her in a very positive manner. So building a sportsmanship is very vital in the current scenario, and this thought was there in my dad very long back, and he started giving me training, and I was into cricket for almost since second standard. I was playing professional cricket back in 1990s, early 1990s. So I was playing professional cricket, and I was studying parallelly, and still I was more into sports. I spent almost 60% of my day in the ground and 40% of my day in all the other activities. That much I was involved into sports. I was a professional cricketer. I was also an athlete. I was taking part in a lot of long jump, high jump, not high jump. I was into track and field events more. So all these things were all there in my mind, and somehow time passed by. I couldn't make a better career or a better promising athlete as a cricketer. But finally what God has given me is a different title. So back when I was in 9th standard, I got a knee injury. So basically people or the parents, why they are scared of putting their kid in sports is because of the fear of injury. Of course, fear, you cannot see, injury is a part and parcel of playing a sport. So injury is inevitable. But with the current technology and the medication and the support system and the professional trainers availability, now having a lot of exposure towards the modern technology will actually make you prevent an athlete from getting injured. So injury has to be managed, but back then I wasn't exposed to that technology, and I severely got injured my knee, and I couldn't proceed further into the cricketing career, and I had to drop out from the cricketing experience at the during my 10th standard, and 9th standard. Parallelly I had to appear for the SSLC exam, and which was a very tough situation for me. And suddenly I had to become very studious, and I jumped into developing or becoming a more studious student. So from there, from 10th standard, obviously we all know that it's going to be 12th standard, and you have to choose the right group, and after that you have to get into some higher bachelor degree undergraduation, and that is where I ended up in Velammal Engineering College. and I studied there computer science engineering for 4 years, which was a wonderful time. And it was also a very special moment where I was playing for the college team for during my second year, third year, and final year of my studies. So I also had to appear in Anna University um, championship, zone championship, and there was other trophies, rolling trophies in and around the zone. So as a part of Velammal, I also played and represented the college. I feel privileged to be a part of that. I always cherish those moments. And after that, once a student gets into or completes his degree, the obvious mentality is to get into some sort of professional or companies, or get into a campus recruitment, and that's how the career path which was designed earlier. So once I completed my engineering, I jumped into some software companies for a few months, and then I came out of the company and I appeared for Tata Consultancy Services, and I worked there for, you won't believe me, I worked there for almost 7.5 years. So with that knowledge, I was completely into a complete software techie during that time. So I wasn't even concentrating more on fitness or sports, because that wasn't that was there. I mean, I didn't give up on my fitness or my workouts on daily basis, but still there was this one part of me which was striving for that young Vignesh Hariharan, who was so ambitious to play for the country representing Indian cricket team. But since that dream was demolished due to my injury and I couldn't pursue it further, there was this a dream which was running in my head now and then, and I couldn't give a life to the dream due to various reasons, where I have to take care of the family. I will have to settle all the loans which I got for the for my education and stuff. So all these things has to be managed, and shifting a career was not even there in the scope of my practice. So it was a very challenging moment for me, and that challenges were all handled well. And I will have to thank my family at this point of time. Everybody, they were all supportive, and they tried to give the best for whatever I tried to venture in. And back after my college days, when I was working in the company, I think back in 2007 or 8, I was more into the fitness, and I was into bodybuilding as well. Initially, I just jumped into the gym just to make myself healthy and strong. That was the initial idea. But later on, I developed a passion towards becoming healthier. So that was the origin of what I am today right now. It was almost 15-16 years back where I was more involved into developing myself as a stronger version of myself, and a more superior version of myself. So that is where I started gymming, and I started gaining the confidence, and everything happened. So all of a sudden, when I ventured, I wanted to shift my career from a software engineer to a fitness professional, and that is where I had to have a lot of investment along with it. So to all the students out there, it is not just for the students, it is for the parents as well. Just look into the eyes of the kid, find out what he or she has in deep inside her mind or heart, and identify that little passion what they are looking for, something which they keep doing again and again, for which they will not feel tired at all. So that is where exactly the parents have to work on the kids' future, not just focusing on the studies and scoring good marks. That is, of course, should be there, because I am a person who is not against to scoring marks or being studious. Of course, whatever I studied might not be much helpful in my current profession, but definitely whatever the knowledge and whatever the experience I gained out of studying, memorizing, learning, and all those stuffs had certainly helped me in grooming myself into a better version of myself. So on the one side, you will have to encourage your kid to become a more both athletic and studious. On the other side, the person also, you should ensure that the student or the kid is grasping the right energy from what he or she is putting the time into it. I mean, if the student or the kid is involved more into sports, then you should identify which sport it is and how that sport can be enhanced into the kid's career. And if the student is onto health and fitness, then there is also a career opportunity with health and fitness, which I am involved right now. So back in 2013, I gave up the job and I shifted my career into fitness, not sport, into fitness, because there's a difference between, because a lot of people confuse between sport and fitness. Fitness is an entity to help the sports people, normal people, people who are unhealthy, obese people, and a lot of segments will be there, injured and rehabilitation segment. So all these people need fitness. In fact, everybody who is alive needs fitness. Sport is actually a supreme version of being fit, and something systematic. There will be a protocol, rules and regulations for that particular game. Putting out all the energy into a sport is to excel on that particular skill. So people who are into sport will definitely be a fit version of themselves. But if you are a fitness person, you don't have to really be into any sport. But if you make sure that your kid is strong and healthy, that is fitness. So how this fitness helped me into my career is, I just took up as much loan as possible and started my own venture, which is called the Hammer Fitness, which is available in which is established in Kolattur, which is very near to Velammal institutions, near the Surapet. So it is a magic that happened in me, and I pulled out every energy, every bit of my time, effort, money, and I invested it into it. And slowly I just started thinking, and I wanted to actually represent the country in some sport, because there was, as I told you earlier, back in my old days, during my younger age, I just had this dream of playing for the Indian cricket team. But since it didn't happen, I still wanted to hold that national flag for myself, and I wanted to bring that laurel, that medal to the country, where I should bring that. How can I put it? That word, I cannot express it in the right words, but it's the most beautiful moment of my life, where I won a championship for the country in a different soil. Back in 2018, I was the Asian champion in Indonesia, and in 2019 in the world, which happened in Melbourne, Australia. So the event was like this. I played the event, and I won the gold medal, and I was in the podium, and Indian national anthem was played in an Australian soil, and you know what? I was responsible for that. So holding on to that pride is the biggest any sportsman or anybody in life could even achieve for. I mean, what more can an athlete ask for? That moment is so precious in my life, and I truly enjoyed it. So it was, the reason why I'm sharing you this is because it is not that sport should directly translate into your financial abilities. Not necessarily. Sport will actually give you peace of mind, happiness, sportsmanship. You will actually develop a feeling of treating everybody around you in a similar way, and you will also start appreciating someone for the other person's success, and you develop a quality of a non-egoistic person right from your childhood. So these days in corporate culture, you might see a lot of meetings present, and there will be a group discussion. There will be a lot of students. You will have different age groups of people sitting in one room discussing on various aspects of developing the project or the company. So all these happens in an environment where you will encounter people of different segments. So unless and until you are a team player, you will not be in a position to you will not be in a position to express yourself in the right way, where you communicate things from your own perspective. So as a student, you have to focus on how to mingle with friends in a very productive manner. I know you will be enjoying a lot of time playing around and having fun. That is on the other side, but on a productive manner, on the way to communicate with each other in the right manner, as well as it has to be productive. So that sort of a mentality, you will truly gain it from playing any team sport. So playing, actually, if you are a parent who is watching this, you should involve your kid into one team sport and one individual sport. A tennis is an individual sport. A weightlifting is an individual sport. A kettlebell lifting is an individual sport. Cricket is a team sport. Football, basketball is a team sport. Even dance, though it is not a sport, is still both individual, either a solo or it's a teamwork. So mingling yourself with a team is the major aspect of today's corporate world. So sports will enable you to treat everybody better, and that is why you have to have sports in your kid's life. And if you are a student, make it a point that you play some sport or the other to develop a better version of your own self. And coming to the health perspective, you will have to develop this sort of becoming stronger version of you physically in order to face whatever the challenges that comes your way. How I learned is what I'm going to share some experience, because back in days, I used to be a very obese kid and a very stressful person, not very confident. But later, after I hit the gym, I started learning on how to lift weights, more than my capacity. So it doesn't happen overnight. It takes years of effort with the consistent and with the right guidance from the coaches in the gym. You will have to develop a sort of understanding with your body and the external resistance. There is a lot of study behind it, which is called the human biomechanics. You might also enjoy studying how force acts internally and externally, to create a movement and all. So all these things. Once I started lifting weights, if I have to squat, for an example, I'll have to carry a huge load on my shoulders and I have to sit down and rise up. So this is what life actually does. Life will actually give you a huge load and it will put on your shoulders. But it might put you down, but you have to lift it up and show that you are stronger than what is kept on your shoulders. So that is what squat taught me, and that is what I have been practicing ever and ever and ever. So there is a relation or a correlation between fitness, lifting weights, sports, and your real life. So everything is all mixed. So if you want to become a better version of yourself, start playing sport. That is one important aspect. And the rise of diseases is what I really want to address in this forum. We all know we have been in a lockdown for a long time due to this coronavirus, and a lot of people are now exposed to what is immunity, what is vitamin C, what are the nourishment that we have to take in for ourselves in order to become healthy. So all these things are in the limelight right now, but our ancestors have been doing this for several ages, and those days we were all put into a lifestyle where physically we were all working, but a lot of people are working on their seats right now, looking into the monitor and working. So fitness has to become a part of your lifestyle. So it is not just about making money out of your career, but a portion of your money has to be spent on developing your health, not in spending that money into medication, hospitals, and only after you become sick you will know the value of health. That should not be the case. You should take the upper hand of taking charge of your health in the first hand, and you will have to spend that 1 hour for your own exercise, and equal importance has to be given for the nourishment in order to recover from whatever the training you did, and as well as your mental recovery will happen in a larger way. There are science and researchers which says that when we exercise and we finish our sport or when we finish our training, there is a hormone called endorphins which releases from the body, which will actually make you feel happy. It's a happy hormone. So there is called something called serotonin, oxytocin. These are all happy hormones. All these hormones will actually make you feel energized for the rest of the day, for you to be active. And if you are a student, your mind will be fresh, and whatever you study, you will grasp things in a much faster way. There is also a research study which says that a student under the age of 18 or 19, this was done in National Academy of Sports Medicine, where college students of different age segment were pulled in with both the genders, and they were tested for almost a quarter, that is like 3 months or 4 months, I'm not sure. And a segment of people were not involved into sport, and they were asked to study the same syllabus, and the other segment was sent to sports fitness, and they were asked to study. The people who did exercise were able to perform much better, and they were much more healthier. So that is the aspect, and that is the profit while playing the sport will actually give you. So this is something one has to cherish and appreciate from what we gain out of fitness. And more than anything, a stronger version of an individual will actually try to face the world in a much stronger way. You will have that potency to at some point you will have, obviously life is going to put you down in all the phases possible, but it is the strongest of the strongest version of you. If it is not brittle, if it is strong, you are going to rise up to that situation and say, if possible, knock me out, and I will show you how to knock you out. So that's sort of a mentality, that's sort of a super energized version of yourself will be there, and nothing in life will actually able to break you down. So that is what sport or fitness will actually teach you as a student. But do not misunderstand or misinterpret fitness or sport with improper nutrition, because a lot of people is what they consume it in a different manner. Playing sport is enough, and not eating well or not sleeping enough. This will actually give you a reverse effect. It will give you adverse effects where your body will actually break down within inside, and you will become anemic, and the overall strength capacity will go down, and obviously your muscles are not going to be stronger. And once you are not strong enough, your hormones will take care of certain things where it is not going to give you a happy place to live. Obviously you are going to become weaker, your immune system will go low, and a virus like coronavirus might enter into your system and it will break you down, and you will have to get into medication and all those things. So sports should be in the right dosages, and that is why you will always have to consult a certified fitness instructor or a certified performance specialist or a sports and conditioning coach. Not just that they claim for themselves, but you should ensure that you are reaching out to the right person and grasping the knowledge from them. So a certified professional or an undergraduate or a postgraduate sports therapy sports personalities is what you should approach for. So having said all these things, sports will actually make a student overall energized. I have also discussed on the better version on mentally how you have to how this will enhance your lifestyle, and how physically, how health perspective is going to get improved and all those things. And in fact, playing a team sport is also going to give you a lot of a way to face the current world and its situations. So having said all this, a little bit of the kettlebell sport I would like to speak, because rather than me speaking about the kettlebell sport, if you could visually see it on my YouTube channel or my Instagram profile or in my Facebook, you can also, if you are in front of your mobile, you can check Vignesh Hariharan in Facebook, Instagram and YouTube. So these are the places I'm available. You can reach me out if you are looking for any specific sports related queries, or if you want to improvise yourself on the fitness quotient, you can reach me out there and get enough information from me. So coming to this kettlebell sport, kettlebell is basically a Russian sport. This Russian sport, it was since 1700 AD, almost 300 plus years. This sport has been alive on Earth, but the dimension and the protocols and the rules and regulations were all developed somewhere 30 to 40 years behind from now on. So for the past 30-40 years, this sport has been played across the world, and almost 10 or 15 years or so, this has been played in India by a lot of my seniors. This sport is very difficult to, if I have to say, initially it is quite easier, but once you grow up to that level of playing or representing your country in the Asian level or in the world level, it is going to be really, really tough. So kettlebell is not just a sporting tool, it is also a fitness tool. If you had been into any gyms nearby, or if you had seen some videos relating to fitness and kettlebells, you might have seen kettlebells and how to use them and all. So fitness, kettlebells is also a fitness tool. It will help you strengthen your posterior chain, which is a lot of people get into the gym and they look for how my abs is, how my chest, how my shoulders, how my arms looks like. But kettlebell is one tool which will enhance the strength of your posterior back, that is your shoulder up, posterior shoulders, your posterior latissimus dorsi, your gluteus, your hamstrings, your calf muscles. So all these muscles are being strengthened, because when it comes to athletic performance, if you are someone, or if you know someone who is into athletics or sprinting or high jump or hurdles, all these people, or even people who throw shot put, these people have to use the kinetic chain to make them stronger, and the whole system has to be in a right synchronized manner, where the force actually translates from your lower extremity to the upper extremity. Say for example, if you want to throw a punch, a boxing, or if you want to throw a ball, if you are a cricketer, then what we do is we actually decelerate and then accelerate the ball. That is what we do actually. We take it eccentric and then we throw the ball in the concentric manner. So if you break this down and analyze it, there is a lot of transfer of load in different phases. So all these things has to be understood, and every muscle part has to be given importance, and that is where kettlebell actually plays a vital role as a fitness tool. Coming to the sport, it has various modalities where I did in my in Asian Championship, I lifted 16 kg kettlebell for 10 minutes continuous non-stop for 203 repetitions, which is not an Asian record, but at least a national record. So that is where I won the Asian Championship. And back here in 2019, I won the World Championship, where I was lifting double 24 kilos, that is total 48 kilos, that is more of my submaximal load. I competed in a 75 kg category, and I won gold medal for the country and brought pride to our nation. And that is about the kettlebell sport. So all I have discussed so far is to basically give you a heads up on what is kettlebell sport, how you can improvise on how if you play sport, what are all the benefits, how you can manage injury, how you can improvise on your overall team playing skills, and how sport will give you or develop you a sportsmanship, and all those things are there. So apart from all these things, how an individual have to develop this sort of interest towards sports is actually matters. So here, if you are a student who is watching this, you can take my advice blindly that if you are playing a sport, you might end up become a sportsman, you might end up becoming a fitness enthusiast, and you might establish a career out of fitness, and you can make money. I am a classic example for that. and I was working in a different company, and still I had the guts to step into a different profession altogether, is just because my father gave me that sort of a strong motivation right from my childhood. So this message is both for the parents who are watching as well as for the kid. So if you want to make a career out of it, there should be a win-win situation and a correlation between your family and your ambition. So there are n number of opportunities available right now. You pick up any sport for that matter. It could be football or hockey or even boxing or whatever it is. Or even if you want to become an athlete, you want to run nationals or international, of course. There are n number of opportunities available out there, and our government is also helping a lot of students. And of course, you guys are from Velammal, so you don't have to worry about all these things. Velammal institution is very much known for sports encouragement, and chairman sir will be happy to help you out in if they really see the talent in you. I'm sure they are going to help you out. And the only hindrance which might come is how to balance between your studies and the sport. So that is where the actual the dilemma will arise within yourself and to your parents. So it is very much important that we understand this concept of work while you work and play while you play. So you should not keep, at this moment there is a lot of distractions available, and one classic example is your mobile phone and the social media. So we have a lot of videos and memes and etc. that always keeps popping into our mobiles in terms of notification, etc. So you should have a proper digital well-being that has to be implemented into your day-to-day lifestyle. Say for example, you should know how to normally I used to say it is not about time management, it is more of a priority management. So when you are prioritizing certain things, say if you have to spend an hour or two in the ground for your betterment, if you want to play hockey or football or something, then you should make sure that you spend that 2 hours of time in the ground preparing yourself for the sport, training yourself hard, sweating every day. If required, you might also need to bleed at times. You might fall down, you get scratches. It's okay. That is how life is. You cannot always walk in the park with no thorns in it. You might encounter thorns, you might encounter stones, some might even throw it purposely, but it is the willpower of the individual to break all those barriers and come out in excellence. On the other side, your education has to also be equally given importance in order to learn things by heart, the capacity to by heart a few things, capacity to understand few things, implement few things. It is all a mixture. Life is, even if you are a complete sportsman, you cannot be a dumb head. If I had been a dumb head who was concentrating only on sports and not studying, I really feel that I wouldn't be in a position where I am right now. So that sort of understanding should be there if you really want to manage both sports and education. So your parents should be in a position to help you out, manage time, keep you away from distractions. Of course, you have to spend some time with your friends, playing casually. Sometimes you have to be a specific sports person. Sometimes you have to be a very good student, studying your lessons. So everything has to have equal importance, and your priority has to be managed. Closer to a competition, you have to prioritize on your sports training, and you can reduce a little bit of your time from your education. When you are closer to the exams, that time you should not say I am going to be a sportsman. So you should know how to balance your time in terms of education that time closer to the exams, or a few months before the exams, and you have to reduce the time you spend for sports. But on either case, if you are playing for a match, it is not that you should not study at all. And if you are appearing for an exam, it is not that you should not train at all. Just minimize the timings, but make sure you are consistent and you are adhering to the timelines and prioritize it in an even or the necessary or a required portion of your time. So all these things has to be managed very efficiently because it doesn't happen over time. You need a lot of practice, and if at all you are looking for some professional guidance, I am out there where I am easily approachable through social media. Once again, I would like to repeat my Instagram and Facebook handles. It is Vignesh Hariharan. You can reach me out there, and understanding the time management and priority management is very vital in terms of improvising yourself into both an overall sport person, a fitness person, and a proper student as well in terms of education. Because at some point, if you aren't educated enough, the world might not give the same respect as someone it gives it to an educated individual. So there has to be a level in which you actually balance things out. So I'm sure all this information is of great help to you. One final advice is what I would give to all of them, irrespective of you are a parent or a student. My personal advice is, if you are playing a sport, apart from all the benefits, whatever I have told you now, or all the benefits of sports, including government recognition, government jobs, and even in the corporates, you will have sports quotas and everything, and you will have a lot of followers and fans, and people will applaud you wherever you go. They will give you respect as a sports personality. Everything is there on the other side. There are certain sports which will actually take you to Forbes top 50 richest man or woman in this world. So if you take a classic example is our Virat Kohli or Mahendra Singh Dhoni or Sachin Tendulkar or PV Sindhu, Sania Mirza, or if you take football, the richest footballer is Messi and Ronaldo. These guys are making millions just by playing, just by kicking the ball or hitting the ball, or playing the shuttle. That is what they do. So financially also sport helps, but not every sport will give you the same recognition as what cricket or tennis or football does. Every sport has its own viewers who spend money into it. So financially also a student more than the student, it is the parent who has to understand what sort of a career opportunity or a money making platform does that particular sport gives. This is on the one side. On the other side, a student should not be involved into sport just because they want to make money. So that is what I would like to highlight at this point, because a lot of people misinterpret playing a sport. Unless and until you don't become a Dhoni, you don't have to play cricket. It doesn't look like that, Unless and until you sweat and breathe like Dhoni, one cannot become Dhoni. So that is the real fact behind it. So one has to understand that the byproduct of a successful athlete is the money what he makes or what he or she makes. The actual product is the happiness, the sportsmanship, the endorphins what you release at the end of the sessions, and how healthy you become, and how competitive you face the world, and how easily or how lightly you take failures, because a lot of people fail during their exams and they get depressed. But if you take a sportsman or a kid who plays sport, I'm sure he or she will be facing a lot of failures in their early days, and they will get used to failures. So enjoying failure is also a part of life. So that has to be given, that sort of an experience or exposure has to be given to the kid, and that is where a holistic next generation gets developed. So these are the major things that I would like to differentiate between why someone has to play a sport, and what are all the natural benefits and what are all the byproducts of playing a sport. And apart from all this, one final benefit of playing a sport is you bring pride to the country. Let me once again reiterate this one experience which I received in 2019 or in 2018 when I won the championship. the national anthem was sung when I was carrying the Indian national flag on top of my head, and if you had seen the poster of this interview, you might have seen my photo carrying the medal and the Indian flag. That opportunity, that experience, what you deliver for the country, it has no match. It has no equal. Even $1 million money will not match that sort of a happiness what a sport gives. But to be on the top of that sport, you will have to bleed. There were a lot of training sessions where I used to cut my calluses, the bruises. I used to bleed. I used to sweat like anything, and there were days I couldn't even walk after my training session. But all those training sessions taught me this one lesson, that if there is a destiny in front of you, no matter what hindrance comes your way, you have to break all the barriers and just grab that for that one single moment where you are called as the champion, and where you hold that Indian national flag in your heart and in your hands, and where the national anthem is sung or played only for you. That emotion you will not get it with $1 million money or franchisees or endorsements. That happiness that cannot be matched with anything. So with all those saying, it was a wonderful or a great experience that I had a chance to share my views on sports and how you can emerge yourself as a sports person, and how kettlebell can help you in your sport, or how you can get trained. And one more thing, if at all you are interested in playing the kettlebell sport, you can definitely approach me through this video, to the parents as well as the students. I am just very nearby to the Velammal campus, so you can reach me out there and get enough guidance. And there are nearly 45 national athletes I have prepared in the past 2 years alone, and almost 105 plus 100 plus athletes in state level. So a lot of students are emerging out as a shining star in kettlebell sports itself. And apart from that, if you want to enhance your existing sport performance, kettlebell is the best tool you can give for yourself. And if you are a runner, you can reduce the timings of your finish by practicing kettlebells. So that is also an added benefit for your sporting ambitions. So everything is there, and it's wonderful and nice meeting you all. Once again, I would like to share my Instagram, Facebook, and other handles. It is just Vignesh Hariharan. You can check my photo along with the national flag in it, and I would also invite you to follow me on Instagram and Facebook. And any questions, feel free to ask me related to your betterment on sports and fitness and everything. And thank you so much everyone for watching this. And if at all, I am watching the YouTube page as well. If you have any questions, maybe I will just stay in line for a couple of minutes. If you have any questions, you can drop it in the comment box, so that I will be happy and glad to answer your questions. So now the time is yours. Okay, so looks like I'm not having any questions. So thank you so much for being present in the live chat, and it was so nice to meeting you all. And thank you so much, Velammal Nexus, for the wonderful opportunity. And it's so glad, and it's always a pleasure to be a part of Velammal, the place where I studied and enjoyed my college days. And thank you so much once again. And I'm like stopping the streaming session. Wishing you all a beautiful career, and wishing you all a beautiful life as well. So that is more important, is what I feel. And thank you so much. Wishing you a beautiful day.